So I've got a couple of bits to show you. First of all, we're going to start with Peña, and I just want to focus on when she does get the fight into her best range, which is the ground and pound. She's very good at holding top position, and not necessarily a criticism, although I'm not particularly a fan of it. At no point does she look at the referee. At no point is she bothered about where the referee is or what the referee's thinking about doing regarding the stoppage of the fight. Her main focus is where's the next striking target and how can I do the most damage possible. That comes to mind because sometimes you see fighters and they'll get themselves in a position where their opponent's kind of rocked or hurt and they're holding on to a single leg, and they'll start hitting them and looking at the referee like, look, the fight's over, you can stop it now. Like we saw Leo Santos doing it to Guida this weekend recently. And I mean, I don't like it. It's not a good look. Like, focus on hitting the dude that you're fighting, or the lady as it is in this case. That's the best thing for me about Nunes's game. Her style on the ground is she is laser focused on picking her shots. She looks for the target. She works around the guard of her opponent. Here we go. I'll just play this. and what's interesting about this clip, the reason I picked it is because Dudieva catches her hand here. So she's throwing shots. She's throwing punches. There's the left hook, and then the right is coming straight down. Now it gets caught as it's coming straight down. You can see here, Dudieva's got a catch of that. So immediately Peña switches back to this hand, back to the other hand. Bang. Hits her with a shot there. Almost gets that hand caught. Goes back around the top of the guard. Still trying to get this wrist free at the same time. You can see her kind of twisting this wrist and trying to get it free while she's still hitting her with the other. Like, completely tuned in and focused on her opponent. It's one of the best things about her game, I think. It's almost like, and you can even see it. I've not got the clip, but at the end of this fight, when the referee steps in and stops it, she's kind of wild-eyed. It's almost like she's in this trance state that she's so focused on her opponent. She's going to need that. She's going to need that. But just going back to this clip, she's got a wrist caught, and as you can see here, like, she's struggling to get it free. She's still working with the other hand that nearly keeps getting caught, but then she switches to a smash elbow, and that's the game changer. And you'll see it from a different angle, which is really cool, because she goes underneath the arm there. So the arm that's caught, now she's using to remove the guard. She's pushed her opponent's arm up to create a space, and she's come underneath that with the elbow. Then she pulls the arm down, and she goes over the top of it. And then she keeps smashing because the grip's released. And it's actually the arm that's been caught the whole time that she, after this smash elbow comes over the top, that lands through the guard on the cheekbone. She also twists her other wrist free over here, twists it free at the same time. And that's the shot that does the damage to finish. Bang. And immediately the referee steps in there and stops it. And you'll see it from the other angle even better. Here we go. There's the finishing one. Smash. But watch from this other angle from the side. You can see what I'm talking about. So there's where the wrist is caught. Hammer fist comes down. Another shot. And then she's going to switch to an elbow. So look how she lifts the guard out of the way. This arm is going to be lifted up, so it's going to be moving over to here. She's driving it up with the wrist that's caught. Underneath with the elbow. Then she comes back and pulls it into her chest and comes over the top with the elbow. Then the other wrist is released, and then the final shot. Bang. It's just a lovely sequence. It shows multiple levels of awareness when she's in a very heightened state, in a very chaotic place, controlling her opponent with her lower body, whilst at the same time looking for those targets with her upper body. It's not going to be easy to get in a top position with Nunes, of course. I mean, she's got 84% takedown defense. If Peña can stay in there, if she can get through any kind of rough patches in the early rounds and just keep grinding, keep that laser focus on her opponent and not start to lose the will to compete, those last couple of rounds where Peña has looked vulnerable in the past against someone that has been able to push her, that might be where Peña can win some of these scrambles. Peña has good striking. I don't think it's got quite the same snap as Amanda Nunes has got, but it is effective. Now, she throws a lot of strikes. She's very aggressive and very, has got a lot of forward momentum. Ultimately, it's always to clinch her opponent, though. And even sometimes when, she'll force her way into the clinch and, like she did in the Dudieva fight, like she punches her way into the clinch. She did it against Sarah McMahon as well. And then she gets reversed and she's got her back on the fence. But then you can see her looking down and watching the legs, and she'll judge her opportunity and she'll commit 100%, just like she does with her strikes. She'll commit 100% to a technique that she thinks is going to work. And a lot of the times you can get it to work. So in those later rounds, again, I keep coming back to it. If Nunes starts to slow down, and if you get Julianna Peña that's now starting to get a bit of encouragement because she's still there with the champion, the champ, and she's able to start pushing her a little bit, then we're going to start seeing her try and work to that top position. And when she does get into the top position, she allows movement, but only on her terms. I'll have a quick drink. This is why, Jamie, I was looking at what's it called? Flatworm?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can put it on the screen right now. Flatworm versus crab. I'll explain why in a second while I have a drink. People are going to think I'm crazy. Okay. The reason why I wanted Jamie to drop that in is because I think sometimes when you're watching a grappling exchange on the floor and there doesn't seem to be too much going on, like you've got two people that are battling pressure against one another and you get like these minimal changes in position. Sometimes if you speed it up, you can see the progression and the battle a little bit clearer. So like I was talking about with the Sarah McMahon fight, she initiated the clinch in the third round. She was maybe a round apiece, maybe 2 rounds down. She initiated the clinch in the third round. She was up against the fence and she looked for the leg. She saw it. Knowing Sarah McMahon is a good wrestler, she still got the takedown. Now, McMahon scrambled and she was able to get her knee inside, but the way that Peña slowly worked her over is really nice to watch. And you can see how I've sped it up here so you can see how the progress happens, how she like cuts off her upper body with her lower body to start with. So let's just go back to the start. And where are we? Okay. So this is the position right after she's taken her down. So you can see Sarah McMahon, she's got a frame on the inside and she's got a knee on the inside as well. So there's a bit of space between the two of them. But you can also see that all of Peña's weight is down into her opponent. Her knee's on the inside here, which is stopping McMahon turning to her knees. So that's where her knee is. It's like a wedge into her hip. And because her weight's on top of her, Sarah McMahon can't do a great deal to move, although she has some space. So she's intending to move. What you're going to see here, Peña's going to drop her weight in, and then she's going to switch her hips. See how she's dropped over. So what happened there, you can see the frame that Sarah McMahon's got here. She's got a grab on this forearm here. She's going to let go of that because Peña's driving that to the floor. She's driving this forearm down to the floor over the other side. So Sarah McMahon's going to lose that grip and that arm's going to pop straight through. And then you can see how the weight drops onto her immediately. Then Peña's going to switch her hips, which then separates her upper body from her lower body. And it gives her a good, strong control. You can see how she's hooking around the side of her face as well. It's a very uncomfortable position. And then she's going to bring her hips back, but now with that next knee wedged in. So she's going from, you can see her hips are switched here. She's going to bring her right knee in and wedge it up against the leg. You can see it there. Again, slow Sarah McMahon scramble down and keep control of her. Anyway, as it goes on, Sarah McMahon's still trying to drive into it. Now, the reason why some people this doesn't always necessarily make sense. Again, Julianna Peña's weight is driving straight down into Sarah McMahon. So if you're in that position, the natural way to move is to move away. But if she rolls away, she's exposing her back, and she knows that Julianna Peña's got rear naked chokes on her record. So she's trying to stay facing her. She's trying to turn into her. But she's lost this underhook position. Really, she wants this arm coming out of this position here so she can start fighting up to her knees. But Peña's already taken that away from her. She's also got this knee in here, so she's stopping a lot of her hip movement. Now, as this downward pressure is driving into Sarah McMahon, she gets a bit of movement. You can see this elbow pressure. There's so many small details, so please forgive me for nerding out a bit. Like, you can see you can see Peña pressuring down into the back of the hip of Sarah McMahon there. She's also doing the same with this elbow here, pressuring into the back. And Sarah McMahon is driving to turn forward. But as she turns, you're going to see Peña drop her weight onto her back shoulder. Watch her turn, pushes her head down, goes to cross face, and then there. Now her back is exposed, and now she can start working to her back. But the reason that she's in this position is because she had that constant pressure, which was forcing Sarah McMahon to work against her. It's like swimming into the tide. You know, the waves are coming in, and you're trying to make some headway, and you can't. And then when you do, you get brushed back to the shore. It's a slow, steady progression, but it allows Julianna Peña to work around her opponents. Here we go. I'll play it back through as it was because I sped it up for a point. Flatworm. Dun 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 dun. Like slowly she kind of creeps and crawls over her opponent and just consumes them basically. And she uses strikes as well when she needs to. Like sometimes she'll find herself stuck in a position and she'll have a free hand, or she'll get a hand free like she's working now, and then she'll land some strikes. Again, exposes Sarah McMahon's back. She jumps on it, tries to get a hook in. Second hook goes in, and then there she is. And she finished with this one with rear naked choke in the third. Like she's going to need that same kind of tenacity against Nunes. Of course, Nunes is a different kind of opponent than Sarah McMahon, but the principles still stand. She's going to have to work hard for the victory, regardless. But there is definitely an opportunity for her, to close distance with straight punches, force Nunes to clinch and then trip her to the floor like she did with Sarah McMahon, especially in the later rounds, and then start working that oppressive top game.